out at brunch. I swear 16 was yesterday, but now I'm closer to 28. I'm focusing all of my energy on just staying away.
Hello, welcome back to Just a Breezy Chat. This is episode 3 of season 5, and today we're going to be asking ourselves the question: are we in a quarter life crisis? Now, we've heard of the midlife crisis and all of that, but what about the quarter life crisis? I feel like this is a newer thing that we don't really talk about as often. Think about it, but I think it's more common though if you really stop and think about. Look at us. Look at all of us coming in from college, high school, and all that, and we're trying to figure out where our next step is. And we don't know, honestly. And some of us experience burnout. But like I said, we're going to be asking the question: are you in a quarter life crisis? If you're new here, hit that like button, ring that bell for notification. Also, please subscribe, help a girl out. You might remember a song by Taylor Brickett. It's called Quarter Life Crisis, which kind of inspired me to do this episode. I was trying to think of topics for this season, but I will play a snippet of the song for y'all before we jump in, okay?
This at 23, I know I'm not unique, but I'm a drama queen. I don't know why I'm surprised, it's just a quarter life crisis. I'm constantly.
Okay, so you're probably wondering what exactly is a quarter life crisis? It basically is a period of self-reflection, and when we start to question the occurrence ones in our lives from our mid-20s to early 30s. It's kind of similar to like a midlife crisis, as I mentioned earlier, and on a smaller scale. And during this time, we may feel trapped, uninspired, or disillusioned, and we also may experience anxiety, sorrow, and uncertainty about the future and the quality of life. And there's also other common things that we feel about, such as self-doubt, restlessness, and depression as well. So, what are some warning signs? Some warning signs happen to include purposelessness, and this is basically when you can feel a lack of, like, your life lacks purpose, or feel like you're restless. You have no desire to change something in your life. What about the identity crisis? That's also a warning sign. Um, because you can find yourself questioning your identity, including your doubts, your beliefs, goals, values, and sense of self. There's also the professional uncertainty. And you're unsure about your career and wonder if you've chosen the wrong path or wasted time in education and training that isn't right for you. Then there's relationship stress. Like you are almost certain that your relationships and wonder whether your romantic partnerships and friendships will last a staying the time. Then there's the famous FOMO. We all know what FOMO is, and that is the fear of missing out. And it often feels like you're not experiencing milestones, achievements, experiences that everyone else around you is having. What about the indecision? That is another clear sign of a quarter life crisis. But you're struggling to make decisions to worry that you can trust your intuition. Then there's isolation. And it's when you feel disconnected from others or you may find yourself withdrawing from loved ones. There's also languishing. You might feel like your life is empty and stagnant, but with a sense of apathy and despair that makes you challenging to find the motivation to change. Now, there are two types of quarter life crisis. The first one is locked in, and the second one is locked out. So you're probably wondering, what is the difference? Well, the first one, locked in, is basically feeling obligated to stay in a role despite feeling dissatisfied with it. And then the next one is locked out, which involves not being able to attain a desired goal, such as being not being able to find work after graduation. What are some common challenges we face with the quarter life crisis? There's feeling lost. Sometimes you feel aimless, like you're wasting time and a lack of direction in your life and career or your relationships as well. You might also struggle to make decisions and feel paralyzed when you're faced with choices. Lack of motivation. You might feel like activities are meaningless and lack the motivation for things you love. You might also experience fatigue and increased sleep. Then there's emotional stress. We all know what stress is like, and we also been down for emotional stress. And this is when you might experience some relationship problems such as breakups, romantic turmoil, or changing friendships, and this can lead to emotional stress and isolation. Financial pressures. You might face a new financial pressure such as housing, student loans, or other responsibilities, and that can also lead to stress and anxiety. Then there is depression and anxiety, where you might experience feelings of depression and anxiety which can go alongside with loneliness and isolation. So here's the question: how do we overcome the quarter life crisis? What about we self-reflect? We consider our core values and see what makes us happy. You can also try like meditation and contemplation to get in touch with your interest and your desires. You can also avoid comparing yourself to others. Social media is a great example of like the dangers of what happens when we constantly compare ourselves to others, because it makes it so easy to compare. And it makes things a whole lot worse at the same time. Um, you allow yourself to change. If you're one of those who hates change, you can define the aspects of your life, explore who you want to be. Then you can practice self-compassion. Take time to care for yourself, so you have the energy to deal with this. Pace yourself. Good things take time, so don't rush. Then seek professional help. If you need, um, if needed, you can speak with someone who has been through a similar experience. And if you're in a quarter life crisis, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. We've all been there. I'm in one right now, honestly. I honestly feel like I'm on this path that I've set for myself for so long that sometimes I'm not sure if it's worth it at this point. But here's a quote I'm going to leave you with, and I will give you a final excerpt of the famous song. It is, "It's not uncommon for people to spend their whole life waiting to start living." And I think that's kind of important for us because so many of us feel like that, and yet so many of us really need to understand that. But that is it for this episode. Join me next time as we talk about a topic that I'm still currently working on myself, and that is breaking generational curses. We all know that, and there's two songs in particular if you want to listen to before then. It's called Wild Horses by Grace Power and Some People Change by Montgomery Gentry.
I'm constantly symptomatic. Mom says it's psychosomatic, that I'm the girl that cried. Headache, I'm melodramatic as hell. Where's all the talent that I had last decade? Another gifted kid that burned out in the 10th grade. Swear that feels like yesterday. I'm just a tired old cliche. I'm focusing